Welcome everybody to the BatchLeads call that we do every week to show you guys how to use BatchLeads to get deals. BatchLeads is one of the #1 services I use to crush it. And I'm going to show you guys how I just use BatchLeads to make $30,000 deal. Okay. And let me tell you why it's so cool is because I didn't know I needed this information for my buyer to want to buy the property. This was a multifamily property. I haven't really dealt with a lot of multifamily wholesaling. I actually didn't even wholesale this deal. I just had the buyer pay me an invoice, which was a lot easier. I connected the seller to the buyer and I just said, hey buyer, I trust you. We've worked together before. He's in my network. He's trusted by a lot of people. So I said, hey bro, you just talk to the seller, you lock it up, and let's figure out a fee you can pay me. So instead of me even having to wholesale it, I just connected them and they got it. And then I signed an invoice with him where he signed it, I signed it, we sent it to the title company, I got paid out. Today, we're just going to talk specifically about what information I needed to give the buyer so he felt good about doing the deal. But let me explain this deal to you guys. So this deal was something I was going to take down and purchase, but I had the deal under contract. We were ready to go. And then interest rates went up, right? Which pretty much killed the cash flow on the deal. There wasn't very much cash flow at the purchase price. It was like 1.1 million. So with the amount of interest going up to like 7% on a commercial deal, you're not really making any money at that point, right? Because the payment is too high. So I had to back out. The partner that I was working with had to back out. And it was pretty much dead because the sellers wanted more than a cash buyer was really willing to pay. That everyone that I had asked. So this is the power of relationships. So my friend that we were going to purchase the property together with and partner, he was like, yo, hey, what's happening with that deal that we weren't able to buy? And I was like, I mean, I don't think it's going anywhere. We couldn't buy it. It's probably not a deal. And he's like, I got somebody. Do you want a JV on the deal with me? I was like, bro, let's go. Let's do it. So because of the relationship I had with my buyer that I was working with in that deal, he had relationships with other buyers and he knew a buyer that needed to put his money into some asset before the end of the year because it's just closed, or he would have to pay a lot of taxes. And the buyer had specific questions for me. And I was like, I don't know these answers. But guess who has the answers? BatchLeads, baby. So he was like, what year was it built? I had previously looked it up before, but I forgot like what number it was. So I had to go to Batch. I had forgot. So they don't know. I don't know. Where do I go? Well, I go where you can get data. So I went over here and we're just going to do a random property, just search a random one. So in BatchLeads, if you click on search any property and you go to where it says details, it can tell you right here the year built. So Nathan, why do you think the year built is that important for a multifamily?
So a lot of good things. You know, do I want to buy something built in, or what could be the difference? If I don't know anything else, if all I know is, hey, this one was built in 1974, and then someone has this other property that was built in like 1901, do I want to buy a property that's over 100 years old? Probably going to be a lot of things wrong with it.
Oh, like a lot of overdue maintenance, right?
Yeah.
That was the main concern, was the maintenance. He's like, Rick, bro, this thing hasn't been updated in 30. And also banks, I think there's certain banks that will look at multi-unit and be like, I'm not funding that one because it's too old.
Yeah, and that's where, you know, kind of having the data, having the information, it's more than just communicating it to your buyers, but it's actually a tool that you can use in your negotiating. You know, when you're talking with a seller and you convey to them and you kind of know these things, hey, you know, with the property kind of this age, whatnot, look, I'll be honest, because it's not going to be able to qualify for normal lending, bank financing, we're going to need to do this price, or we're going to need, you know, an additional reduction on price, or whatever the case may be. And you use that as tools to get it whatever price you need to, or even lower.
Exactly. And he asked another question and I was like, I don't know what he's talking about, because again, this is multifamily. These are questions that I haven't really getting. So I can't remember exactly the terminology he used, but I was able to find the data so he could find it. If you go to Batch, you go to under tax information, he wanted to know the parcel number. That's pretty much essentially what he wanted. He used some other term that I can't remember, but I was like, dude, I don't know, but I see a parcel number on Batch. He's like, that'll work. That will help me like locate the property so I can see like the land and the layout and just everything on it. So I gave him the parcel number and that helped me out a ton. So BatchLeads, really cool because, you know, I was able to use the data in BatchLeads to pretty much take this deal that was dead, give the information that the buyer needed to take it all the way. And one thing that allowed me to know is the importance of relationships. Okay. Now, what can Batch help you do? It can help you develop relationships relationships by you looking up the right data of cash buyers that you need. So let me give you guys an example. So if you go here to boundaries, all you have to do is locate them, go to the quick filters, and you can check out all the cash buyers that have done deals and network with these people. I mean, if you're struggling to do deals, it's probably because you're not buying the deal and you don't know what people are willing to buy right now. Well, go talk to this guy right here. He obviously has an active house that he's trying to sell, and you can check out. Another awesome thing with Batch, if you want to make relationships, is you can go to the owner profile and see other addresses that this guy owns. Currently it shows that he owns just this one, but you can go to other people and see if they own multiple properties. And usually, oh, look at this guy right here, Nate. Owner of this is Property Seller Solutions. They're a company that wholesales out here. So that's a relationship you could make. Like, these guys are, obviously you can see the flip they're doing. Looks pretty sick, looks pretty good. That's pretty much it, guys. I mean, I'm just pumped because of BatchLeads. I'm an affiliate and I do rep their stuff, but I am pumped just because I literally use their service to help me make dough.
And that's awesome, man. I didn't even realize that was a feature to where you can just, one, you can just click and skip trace them right there. Two, you can just click and call them right then and there. If you want to know, kind of what one of the biggest differences is from people that kind of succeed and the people that struggle, guys, the difference is the person that says, well, let me get this list and I'll put it together and I'll make it all perfect. And then I'll reach, and the other person's just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to click and call them right now. You think that person's chances of getting a hold of that person are higher than the person who's like, hey, let me put it in this nice dialer. And then like not Mondays, because Mondays are, we're just starting the week. Tuesday afternoon, good day, then I'll get to it. Right? No, it gives you the option to where it's like when you find it, boom, go after it right then and there.
Exactly. They just added that feature too to the BatchLeads 3.0 or 2.0. That you
awesome.
call in right from it. So definitely useful. But guys, like, you don't have to get too crazy. You just got to make calls. That's it. Like, get your phone. Because I was talking to one of the guys in my mentorship, Nick. He's awesome. And he was like, man, I just got to make some calls. And I'm like, you got to talk to 20 motivated sellers a day that you can ask them why they're selling. I've been busy all day and I've already had a couple conversations, right? And made a couple offers. So if you go through the whole day and you're like, dude, I didn't make a single offer, you can go right now to BatchLeads. You can go to MLS. You can go to all these and make an offer right now. So never go a day if you want to be successful in this business without making an offer. That's how you get real estate. You think someone's just going to come to you and say, here's a house? No, you got to make an offer on a house. It took me a while to click where it's like, oh, that's how you buy real estate. When I first started, when I was a noob, I would like go months without a deal and I'd be like, man, this sucks. This isn't working. It's like, how many offers have you made? I don't think I've made a single offer. I think I made about 100,000 cold calls, but no offers. It's like, there's your problem, bro. There's the other guy that goes on the MLS and makes 20 offers a day, 5 offers a day, and he's getting deals with nothing crazy. He's just putting low offers in front of people or trying to solve problems.
And, one of the things that took me a long time to learn, right, and kind of how I came into the painless way of kind of wholesaling, going about it. Before, I used to think it was all about quantity, and realizing, no, it's way, quantity is great. That's right. Important. Volume is really important, but quality is far more important. When I opened up in a brand new market here in Danbury, Connecticut, I had 3 relationships. I started the painless way, right? Connecting with top buyers and kind of the ways that we find them. And like, when I say relationships, like he brought me to 2 of his properties and he was teaching me the rehab process.
That's sick.
And he's like, hey man, like, you ever have a house? He's like, look, I never care what the assignment fee is or anything. Like, I'd love to be your best buyer. Like, how can I be the best buyer for you? And then within 2 weeks, I went to like 2 RIA meetups. And within like 2 weeks, I had people, hey, I just got this under contract. Can you help, JV with me on this? Can you help me sell this deal? And I'm at a point to where in just a few days I can make an offer on anything because I know I've got really good relationships with, I don't need 100, I don't need 1,000, I just need a few really quality relationships to get started. You really only need one really quality to get started, and then grow it from there. But from just having a few, what you're able to get done, it's crazy.
You're doing the painless way. Or you guys can all do the painful way where you just go pull a list and you have no idea what you got to offer or who's going to buy it, but you just try and figure it out. That's fine, but it's going to take you some more time.
The worst thing about the painful way is all the money that you don't know you're leaving on the table, especially when you first get started. When you first get started, there's a lot to comping and really knowing what someone will pay for a property. And you can learn the hard way, which is through a lot of work, negotiating with sellers, getting contracts, and then a lot of them falling through and you losing money on marketing and time and all this stuff. My first deal, when we talked about the beginning here, that 3-unit multifamily, that was a deal I almost walked away from because I was like, I was like, it's in a rough neighborhood. I really don't know. And I got lucky that I was able to sell the house to an end buyer.
Yeah, bro.
But I almost walked away from, and there was a number of other houses where I felt the same way. And I was like, no, I'm not going to get this under contract. Like, it's just, I don't want to, kind of make a commitment to the seller and have it fall through and so on and so forth. But if I had a relationship with even just one buyer, that I could say, hey, I'm looking at this, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking? How much more money I could have made in a fraction of the amount of time.
Well, not to mention, it just makes you way more confident when talking to sellers. If you have an idea, like you really do. And the thing is, like, after you master one market, like essentially you have a good idea without having to talk to anybody anymore, right? If you master a market. And, batch leads, let's go. Nate, thanks for being on the call with me today. Guys, the information that they give you is necessary to do deals. I know, because I just did one using their information. If you don't have it, go get it. You can hit me up if you don't have the link. I do get credit for referring you. They hook me up. I'd recommend everybody sign up to be an affiliate. Why not? And if you use mine, it's free for 7 days or a week, and you get like 1,000 records for free. So I don't know why you wouldn't do it. If you don't like it, you can get rid of it. Wholesaling does not have to be painful if you do it the painless way. All right, everybody, remember that. Peace out.